Peter's NDIS plan allows him to live independently.
He can do so many more things that he couldn't do before because he has the funding to go and do them.
Autistic and non-verbal, Peter receives vital support every night.
If we don't have it, we really don't know what we would do.
10 months ago, his plan was changed, reducing his overnight care to just 7 days a year.
They've just decided that he didn't need it anymore. For what reason, we do not know.
To help Peter transition, disability provider Hartley Life Care continued his overnight care, costing the not-for-profit more than $40,000 over 10 months.
It makes it difficult for us as an organisation to see these type of decisions happening when there's been so much energy and effort to build what he has presently.
The NDIA puts a cap on how much a provider can charge for care, but Hartley says it's nowhere near enough.
The assumptions that the NDIS have in the cost model don't necessarily reflect the true cost of what we provide.
Eric, how much money is Hartley losing?
In the last 4 years, we're about $6 million in deficit.
The company has taken drastic measures to stay afloat, including making 60 staff redundant and moving other staff to lower pay grades.
We realized that last year that if we did not do that and the funding was not being corrected, that we'd be insolvent by December this year.
A survey by the National Disability Service shows the current NDIS model is pushing providers to the brink. In the ACT alone, 3 out of every 4 member providers are considering reducing their services or halting delivery altogether.
So the disruption in their lives, if services were to cease, would be really, really significant, and it's something we want to avoid at all costs.
Many providers would rather take a financial hit than drop the level of care to their clients. But that can't continue indefinitely, sparking calls for urgent reform.
The NDIS is an absolutely incredible scheme in terms of its original promise. It was putting choice and control into the hands of participants.
We need to work closely with government, and they need to work with service providers and individuals to be able to provide the scheme in a better, more efficient way.
The NDIS says it's working towards a new pricing approach next year to support the sustainability of the scheme, and it's regularly consulting with the industry.
Many organisations are speaking out and saying we can no longer continue to do this, and it's because their reserves have been exhausted.
That was exactly the case at Kamari, which has operated in Canberra since 1958. This year it was forced to downsize, cutting support to 66 disability clients and sacking 62 employees, many of whom live with a disability, including Richard, who worked at Kamari for 29 years.
It will be so much different in my life, and I don't know what to do.
Kamari blames the NDIS for the cuts, labelling the funding model as flawed. It says after a decade of the NDIS, we are simply no longer able to subsidise the government's funding gap, and we will not compromise on quality. It took 2 months for Richard to find a new job, and the change hasn't been easy.
Having a disability, it is that little bit harder, and so Richard says he struggles with routine. He has a level of OCD.
The garden is his happy place.
It's outside in the fresh air, so I stay inside watching television, and I can meet other people too.
A push to make sure people like Richard don't slip through the cracks. Justina Baster, ABC News, Canberra.